For years, Sailor Moon fans knew an abandoned American adaptation from 2 minutes of shaky convention footage. It mixed Western animation with live-action teenagers, looked nothing like the Japanese series, and became one of anime fandom's most famous lost pilots. Then, in 2022, researcher Ray Mona found the complete proof of concept in the Library of Congress. The pilot had not survived through a secret collector or an anonymous upload. It was preserved by a public institution, waiting for someone who could identify the record, trace the rights, and obtain permission to see it. The project began while companies were deciding how Sailor Moon should reach North America.
Renaissance Atlantic hired tune makers to create a proof of concept, often called Project Y. Instead of simply dubbing the existing anime, the team designed a new hybrid show. Battles and space travel would be animated. Daily life on Earth would use live actors, school sets, and a cast built for American children's television. The pilot was a sales tool, not an episode prepared for broadcast. It existed to demonstrate a format that a network or rights holder could choose to develop. Fans eventually nicknamed the project Saban Moon, because Renaissance Atlantic was associated with the business network around Power Rangers. But Saban Entertainment did not produce this pilot.
The surviving credits and later interviews point to Renaissance Atlantic and Tune Makers. That correction matters because the wrong company name shaped decades of searching. A memorable nickname helped the mystery spread, while also directing attention toward an organization that did not hold the missing tape. The pilot's real production trail was narrower and more useful than the legend built around it. A short music video assembled from the project was shown at Anime Expo in 1995. Someone in the audience recorded the screen with a camcorder, and copies of that recording circulated online. The footage established that the production was real, but it offered only a noisy montage.
Fans could see the live-action cast, the Western character designs, and a few transformation shots, without knowing how the complete pilot was structured. Scripts and animation cells later surfaced from a storage locker sale, adding physical evidence while leaving the moving image unresolved. Journalist Cecilia D'Anastasio investigated the pilot in 2018 and interviewed people involved in the production. That search reached former Renaissance Atlantic president Frank Ward, who still had a tape labeled Project Y. When the tape was transferred, it was not Sailor Moon. It contained Team Angel, a later pitch built around a different group of magical heroines. The false lead was still valuable.
It documented another attempt, connected the right people, and clarified that the desired pilot would have to be located somewhere else. Ray Mona's search began with interviews, corporate relationships, old convention material, and the earlier reporting. The goal was not merely to type the fan nickname into a search box. She needed to determine who created the pilot, who might have deposited a copy, and who could authorize access. That work narrowed the search toward a record held by the Library of Congress. The crucial clue was institutional rather than viral. Productions submitted for copyright and preservation can remain in collections, even when the public never received a commercial release.
A library holding is not the same as an unrestricted public video. Ray Mona contacted the Library of Congress in May 2022, and the request reached moving image staff who recognized what she was asking for. Access still required permission from the appropriate rights holder. Frank Ward authorized the request, allowing the library to provide the material for the documentary. The recovery, therefore, depended on 3 different kinds of work. Fandom remembered the fragment. Research identified the correct institutional trail. And rights clearance turned a catalog discovery into something the public could finally watch.
The recovered proof of concept runs roughly 10 minutes in its surviving form. It opens in an animated fantasy world, then moves to live-action life on Earth, before returning to animation for battle. The Princess Warriors have vehicles, costumes, dorm rooms, and a diverse cast, including a Sailor Mercury who uses a wheelchair in the live-action scenes and a flying chair in animation. The result is unmistakably a product of early 1990s American children's television. But the full pilot reveals an actual format, rather than the random collection of images preserved in the convention reel. The proof of concept was not selected for a series. The original Japanese anime was ultimately localized instead, avoiding the cost and complexity of producing new live-action scenes and new Western animation for every episode. That decision left Project Y in an awkward state, too complete to be only a rumor, but never distributed enough to enter normal television archives or home video collections. Its failure also explains why so much evidence survived outside ordinary broadcast history, in promotional reels, production art, interviews, and a deposited copy, rather than in station recordings. The pilot challenges the simplest meaning of Lost. A copy existed in a major institution, but fans lacked the title trail, permissions, and context needed to retrieve it. A search engine could repeat the same 2-minute fragment forever without exposing the library record. The breakthrough came from connecting people, paperwork, corporate history, and an archive's access rules. That is why the best lost media work often looks less like stumbling onto a secret file and more like building a chain strong enough that an institution can confidently release the correct object. For nearly 3 decades, the American Sailor Moon pilot existed publicly as a blurry promise, a few minutes that proved something larger had once been made. The 2022 recovery replaced that promise with the complete surviving proof of concept and a documented explanation of where it came from. It also corrected the story around the object, who made it, why the Saban nickname misled people, and how the Library of Congress could preserve a failed pitch no network ever aired. The pilot was not rescued from destruction. It was rescued from an incomplete description of its own history.